Hello everyone, my name's Lyn Simpson. I'm the Chief Exec for North Cumbria Integrated Care Trust, and I'm delighted to introduce this part of the video about the CQC improvement work that we've been doing over the last few months. It gives me great pleasure, and I'm sure it will you too, to listen to some of the work that's been undertaken through the video clips available to you. So you'll have heard over the last few weeks from colleagues about the improvements that we've been making, and we've been doing this at a particularly difficult time in the organisation as we're now moving towards our recovery phase of work. So many of these improvements have focused on what we were told from our regulator in terms of the care that we deliver to our patients and to their families, and indicating areas where improvements would make great benefit to those particular individuals. We've focused on that, and ultimately we've corralled around that to ensure that we continue to deliver high quality, safe patient services. I believe that we have been providing, in the vast majority of cases, quality safety services, but there's always room for improvement, and we've seen this evidence through some of the earlier videos. You'll be aware that we launched our ourNCICway in November 2020 with our values and behaviours at the heart and core of everything we do. This was building on the 5 key principles, and I just want to remind you of those 5 principles. They're very basic, but I think they're very meaningful for us as an organisation. So, first one, we want to be a clinically led organisation, clinically enabled, clinically led. Secondly, we want to provide positive patient experience every time we meet a patient, in every interaction that we do. Thirdly, we want quality and safety at the heart of everything we do. That should probably be number 1, but these are not in order of priority. Fourth, we want to be a great place to work. I want you to be telling people, come and work in Carlisle, come and work in West Cumberland, come and work in the community service. It's a great place to be. And fifthly, we need to manage our money well, so we should only spend what we've got and spend that well. If you recall, we did publish our first set of NCIC resources in March, and many of you were involved in developing those resources. But those resources, just to remind you, included a short video explaining what we mean by the NCIC way. We shouldn't assume that everybody knows what that is. Posters, presentations for line managers to use in their team meetings. It's much easier if you've got a framework to follow than to be starting from scratch. A description of our compact, which you'll recall was developed by our staff for use by our staff, and I think we probably just need to revitalise that and make sure we're using that in every possible opportunity. And finally, an FAQ document. So there's a lot of resource out there for you to use. We have a framework to embed this way of working across the organisation, and we'll be checking in over the next 12 months to see how effective that is, where we need to tweak it, and with your help, how we co-produce the next set of resources to use. You'll be aware that we've introduced the new team briefing process, and that's to ensure that you are kept up to date each week from me, with an opportunity for you to ask any questions. So we identify 7 key priorities, and then we leave approximately 50% of the time for you to raise issues with me about things that are important to you and to your staff. I also think it's important to remember that we've been doing this work at the time we've had the most severest pandemic that I can certainly remember. And you recall we have the highest incidence of COVID outside of London. So we were really busy in our hospitals and communities delivering care to patients, and that's absolutely where our focus should be. But while we were doing that, we maintained this developmental work, which we can now mobilise around and give a lot of attention to. So thank you all. Great testament to the work that you've been doing over the last year, and I think together we can really get behind the NCIC way of working and start to make improvements where we haven't got them, but continue to build on the good practice that we do have. So we've done great work so far. It was an awakening for us following the CQC visit and gave us a sense of purpose and focus in terms of how we mobilise around the improvements we need to make. I'm absolutely delighted that at the busiest time of the year, winter, and with COVID, we managed to achieve an awful lot, and that's, with thanks to each and every individual in the organisation. However, we can't stop there. It's all about how we continue together to move forward to make these improvements a reality for the future. Every incremental step makes a difference and enables us to get towards our long-term goal, which is being a hospital of choice for patients, high quality care delivered here, safe care, a great place to work, all of the 5 key principles that we talk about on a regular basis. So, what are some of the improvement work pieces that we need to do this year during 21-22? We'll continue to do everything that we normally do, and the priority is safe care for patients. But alongside that, with your help, with your support, and doing things together, I think we can focus on half a dozen key issues. And let me just run through those for you. So I think this year it would be beneficial to agree the medical and nurse staffing model. If we understand that, if that's signed off and agreed, then we can go back and review based on a baseline that we all understand. Second thing is, I think we need to review the transfer policy and the process attached to that. That's really good for patients, so we know what we need to do when we transfer patients within hospitals, from ourselves to the community hospitals, ourselves to West Cumberland, or outside of our region. The third thing that we need to do is to ensure that our safeguarding and supervision training is really embedded. We're doing well on that. We've made a huge progress, but this is a really important piece of the work we do. Whether you're a child, an adult, a carer, when you come into hospital, you need to ensure that you are protected, and that if issues are raised, we can mobilise the right resource around that to ensure as you go home that you continue to be in a safe environment. Fourthly, and this is an exciting one, we need to ensure that we can recognise and report good practice, but also with that recognise and reward good behaviours. Now, that's not to say everybody's going to get an extra lump sum in their paycheck, unfortunately, but there's lots of ways we can recognise the work that people are doing, and I'd really like us to do that. We're also going to be doing work around our committee and meeting structures. Always sounds a little bit processy, but it's really important. We all work within a governance framework. We need to understand that, and we need to make that really, really simple. And then finally, we want to engage with you, with the organisation, and then with the wider system on our emerging organisational strategy and the next phase of embedding the NCICway. I've got lots of great ideas about how we can transform, how you can work with us, how we potentially create an academy of improvement, because you are exceptionally good at doing the improvement work. Sometimes we just don't always sing our own praises. So I'm going to make sure, with your help, that we do that moving forward. So finally, our plans are ambitious, but I think we can deliver these. We can deliver it in a co-production way. Bit gimmicky, but it means we just work together to deliver that through our NCIway. So ensuring that we constantly deliver that safe, high quality service to our patients, and that you, as an individual, enjoy coming to work and continue to go the extra mile for us. So thank you.